Welcome. This is a new moon. It is the start of a new cycle for 3 months, and I am so excited because I have so many tools behind me and experiences, and I have dreams and opportunities set up for the next 3 months, and I'm going places. Please join me, connect, watch, observe, support me, whatever ways you can. Follow your intuition. So today I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Amber Wright, and I like to call myself Amber Light because it rhymes, or Amber Sea Light, because I have a unique gift. My father is colorblind, and I didn't know this until a few years ago, but I inherited a gene that allows me to see extra colors, and this is called tetrachromat. Many animals see this way, so it's not that uncommon, and I have met other women who can see this way. So I use art as a mode of expression so that other people can have an idea of what it's like. So I was just talking to a woman on the phone this morning, telling her about how I see, and I described it as I see patterns everywhere. I see things as little dots. I see lines that move around. So I'm going to use myself with my wonderful white background as an example with my hands. Okay, so around the body, we have this layer of light, and we illuminate, we exist, we are here, we are physical beings, but at the same time in a more less dense realm, we actually emit light and we emit energy. So right outside of us is this layer of light. Some people have different colors. It's usually about this far out from us, and it illuminates. Some are bigger than others, and some are different colors. Usually the very closest to our body, we're blue, and it's like an electric blue, and gets more light. And then around out here, we have our emotional body, and so our emotions have different colors, and these take a little, so I can always see the inner layers. I always see the patterns. I always see the dots and fluorescent colors and little things dancing around in the space between us and things. But to see the emotional layer and the mental layer of the aura, which is around here and around here, I relax and go into a meditative state. Hi, Leanna. And I can see these out of the corner of my eye sometimes instantly. And I'm like, oh, isn't that nice? That person's fuchsia. You know, I don't say that out loud, but I'm thinking that. So, and then also we have, everybody has this ability, is to see with their inner eye. So we have our physical eyes, we have our inner eye. Everybody has a third eye. We can all use it. We all do use it and can access this frequency. So the inner eye, I've learned through meditation, through shamanic journeys, and now I have this level of awareness all the time. I have practiced it. I can go within, in my inner being, to my inner light body and see with the inner eye. So it's wonderful. So not only do I have active my extra genes of being tetrachromat, of seeing basically like I'm tripping on psychedelics all the time, right? I have my inner eye. I have accessed through my deep meditations. I've practiced Tibetan Buddhism for many years, and more recently I have learned shamanism and the shamanic journey, and I highly recommend to go to YouTube and just put in the shamanic journey. They'll walk you through with the drum beat. It changes your brain waves. And changing the brain waves into that other state, it will help you access your light body. It will help you astral travel. It will help you get knowledge that will help you in real life ways. Always just keep that intuition open. You will get knowledge if you ask, if you're open. Okay, so this is a great introduction, and I'm on a roll, but I have a table next to me with a whole bunch of art that I want to show you, because this art has stories, and it's part of my path to share with you this other world. So, okay, so this one on top, I'll do dreams at the end, and I'm gonna do real life ways of seeing first. Okay, so, you know, gosh, is that even different? That's like in the inner light body, you can get access through your dreams to knowledge. So anyways, we'll get into that later. So here, this first one is really blue. So this is me in the garden when I was in Alaska, and I'm trying to hold it really still. So I have patterns everywhere, little dots and silvery blue. And so right here is a Tsing, Tzings, and they are little, I don't know what they are, but I've called them Tsings. They're little bits of light that zip about in the sky, even on cloudy days, but usually see them very well in the sun. They'll bounce off of trees. They seem to stop at night. So during the day, bounce off of trees, all over in the sky and in the clouds, different kinds, different colors, different shapes. So the shapes would be at the end of the Tsing is the shape. This one's like fluorescent green. So this right here is a gnat. And I noticed when I was in the garden that gnats, they like zigzag all over the place, right? And I noticed that it was zigzagging in correspondence with the Tsings that are next to it. So I wonder if these have some sort of a force field that little creatures that, okay, so have you ever heard of Michael Tellinger? So he brought this information to me that little insects actually cannot pick themselves up. They have cones. So similar to the cones in our eyes, there's cones that vibrate to a certain frequency that actually make insects levitate. Did you get that? So the bugs flap their wings and they create a tone, which creates a frequency that actually makes them hover. And then they, you know, when they slow down their wings and they stop making that sound, they just plant down. Okay, so that's enough of this picture. Let's go on to the next one. So we've got, this is ginger. I was like, oh, I want to draw something that's alive and show its aura. And I'm like, oh, look, I have ginger on the counter. It's alive still. So when we eat our food, it's actually alive and illuminating. Let me pull you in. So we've got some blue, electric blue, right around the ginger. Then we have these waves and frequency that are going off of it. And the ginger sort of has this around an inch space of aura around it. And then around the outside of it, we have our normal waves in the ether that's around all of us. We're always surrounded by waves. All right, so here is money tree, one of my houseplants, which I still have. So we've got the blue aura right around it, and then we have the light that comes out. So this was great. I was drawing this. It took some time. And then I saw orbs right here that were kind of like in this rectangular box, but they stuck in this same spot. And oh man, art is so frustrating. I do not have any paint that illuminates light like how I want to draw it. So I just use white paint, right? I use glow in the dark paint, but it's never going to be as satisfactory as the real thing. So as much as I try to show you what this looks like, it's impossible. Maybe, you know, I'd really love to get with a graphic designer, because you can really do that on computers. And on computers, you'd be able to show that these dots in here are dancing and moving all around and have ripples in them. This is an all black stone. This is black tourmaline. It has a white spot right here of white mica, which is having, like, these are kind of like a reflective of light, so that green is actually there physically. But this whole thing is black. And so I notice on the backside that I have more red dots, and up here I have more blue dots. And also it has this shoot of energy up top. I use this as my grounding stone, and we've got dots outside in the aura on the outside of it, but around this area, it's like, it was, you know, it had this absence of anything right around it. It's kind of like a force field. So in the aura, oh, I forgot to mention this okay, so in our aura, we have the tightest layer of aura around our body is actually there to keep other things out so that there is space for us to exist. Oh, there's a name for this layer. If anybody watches this later and can remember what that name is, it's like it holds this layer for us that encapsulates our body, and it has the first layer of the aura has shapes for all of our organs and all of our body. So when we do energy work, we influence the changes from the outer layers to the inner layer, which actually helps get over disease, and you know, it helps us reform back into our original state of where we're supposed to be if that imbalance wasn't there. Oh, wow. Thank you for all your beautiful comments, you guys. All right. I am going to keep going. Let's see. We have, so that other one was black tourmaline. This is another houseplant. This is a lemon tree I started by seed. I have a very wonderful habit of planting the seeds out of the apples and stuff and lemons. Okay, so let me try to pull this in even more. Okay, so we've got glow-in-the-dark paint right around the outside of the leaves. And let's see, we have right down here some illumination. Then we have our blue layer, and then we have the outer layer of the ether. So I have this on a black background, and this is a little glass crystal that's dangling down. It doesn't really have an aura around it at all. If it were a gemstone crystal, it would. So we've got the aura right here on the stem. I'm trying to hold it still. Aura on the stem is orange with the little dots. And the dots were zipping up and down the stem. Very happy plant. Very happy plant. This plant has had quite a journey since then. It doesn't look the same. It drove down the Alcan with me and got whipped in the wind, and then I had to trim its branches down. So it's recovering. It might be beautiful again after some good care. And then this is what I did last year, around now last year. So we've got another little, this is a tangerine. So we've got a very nice aura around the plant. And then we have, I put the aura around the pot too. So a lot of little doodads, pine cones. And now this was fun. So I put all these gemstones in the bottom. And the gemstones had different auras. I was really surprised that the rose quartz had a purple and yellow aura. Here's a garnet. And there's a little teeny emerald right there. Here's fluorite. And where's the amethyst? Amethyst right down here had its own purple aura. So what I'm trying to show with this is that I can do the details like in this piece of wood here as the base and the mat underneath, which is Mongolian camel hair that I knitted myself. I crocheted, I mean. Anyways, I'm trying to show that I can do the aura in as just as much detail as I can the physical matter. So we know that I'm trying to give as close of an accurate representation of what it looks like. This is magnetite, another stone. It's about this big. It's about an inch across. So this is a tiny stone that I blew up. And this white here is the reflection of the light, but then we've got the dancing dots in here, lots of dots. So a lot of this is done with that big pen that we write with. We've got the fluorescent aura right around the stone. And if you have any magnetite or know it, it's a very heavy it's a heavy stone. Even if you have a little piece, it has a lot of physical presence. So that's why it's great for grounding. However, I feel like this is more of an elevated grounding than the black tourmaline, which when I walk in a crystal store, because I'm so sensitive, I'll walk in there and immediately, I'm like high as a kite. I'm like, oh shoot, where's the ground? So I immediately say to the people that work there, I'm like, where's your black tourmaline? Where's the black tourmaline? And then they get it for me. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, how do you work here? I could not be in the store very long. So here's another grounding stone. This is black obsidian, another all black stone. We've got the fluorescent colors, the dots. So I showed this with some really intuitive friends of mine. And they said that it seems like the energy goes in, whereas it goes in on this side and kind of comes out this side. So a lot of stones have positive and negative poles, which I wouldn't say positive or negative. I'd say they go in one way and out another. So it's like a direction of light. Okay, what I really like about this is that it wasn't on the others, is that this grid-like pattern is actually moving like lines in one direction, or, actually sometimes the energy moves in both directions. And also what I didn't mention before is that these dots, I see these dots inside the stones. I see them within the physical substance moving around. And yeah, it's kind of like X-ray vision, like I can see into things. Great. And so we got the, on the outside, I have to mention the outside's got the ether, the energy of space that's around us, which there's patterns everywhere. In my opinion, there's no such thing as empty space. But at the same time, empty space is within all things that exist. Okay, here, I'm going to do this one next. This one's taped. Oh, it's not taped. Okay, great. This is, I was very bored, had to be at a game. I was like, markers, what am I going to draw? This is a blank sheet of paper. This is me looking at the blank sheet of paper, drawing the energy that is between me and the page. So it's a very small sheet, but this shows there's energies everywhere. And I love these little, let me try to find one. Okay, so these orange little, these are zipping. So they're like dot, 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 like blurps. And I see these in the sky too. They're great. Like they're like things. They're like a different kind of thing. So I need to get on a study, right? This is my mind, like, I need to study these and be like, oh, this blurb is like this, and paint it real big and then paint it small, and this is how it acts. I mean, I'm sure scientists would really like that. So here, I'll take this one out too. Oh, so seeing energy, seeing dots, seeing things move. Let's go into sound frequency. So, it's kind of like how when I can slow down my frequency and see the outer layers of the aura. This is like seeing it with my physical eye too. I can slow down and see this. I can also slow down, and in meditation, I mean, not always in meditation, but I can see like the rapid waves, and I believe that they're sound. So here's kind of like a nice pattern. Patterns are great. All right, that one's not that exciting. All right, so okay, at night, observing someone sleeping, or at the twilight. I love the twilight is so great. It's like when twilight happens, I can see the energy more than I can see the physical, and it's just so fun. I've had some friends around me like, oh, it's like I'm around someone that's in a totally different world right now. This right here, this drawing is, it's not that extraordinary, but it's me drawing what thoughts look like, and it's at night, so it's like the blurb of thought, which is really like, so I think of our brains as like absorbent sensors for this layer of the aura that's right here, that's filled with geometric designs and a hologram, right, of thoughts that we hold in our aura, and we can access them through those neuron pathways. So here's a thought in the aura, all these different wild shapes. So with myself, I can see shapes a lot at night. I just go into geometry with my thoughts, and then I can go into different memories, explore, right, within your own mind. Okay, so I'm going to go through these pretty fast. These are things. Here's some things in the clouds. There's the ground. I'm trying to keep it level. And then here's one. These are blown up things. Let's see if I can keep that level. Okay, blown up things on a truck on the road. There's those blurping things. All right, little pen drawing. Nice and fun. Okay, now this is what's really exciting. Dreams. We can access information. We can go places through astral travel in our dreams. I'm scrolling down on our comments here. Beautiful. Thank you for all joining in. This is great. Okay, so I really love this. This came to me in the morning, and then I made it that day. I'm like, oh, half asleep. So I've got all these things to do, right? And I'm in this sleep state of dreams. It's like, oh, I'm so relaxed. But then we have, I have ancestors here. I have creativity. Okay, so the ancestor says, listen to the whispers, heed the wisdom. History says the path that brought us here. Art says taking action for spirit accountability. Music, I play music. Entrainment. Do you know what entrainment is? So one frequency is going, and then another frequency is going, and that frequency matches your frequency, and then it pulls you to a different place. So they're in sync and they go together. Entrainment, control, and intention. And this says creativity, bring elements in the now. And this is like things to do, like clean, do dishes, write letters to people, organize, news, and plan. All right, so this, yeah, dreams are great. They tell you things. So I woke up, I saw these words in my dream, but then I woke up, I forgot them. I started making this. I went within intuition. I found that intuition, and I listened, and it came as I made it. So practical for this lesson, real life, you're not always going to know the exact steps in order to do it, but you get yourself there and you open up and you let that wisdom, and then in the moment, you're in the moment, you know what to do. Just all of a sudden, let it come to you. Okay, so this is falling asleep. All right, so at night, so you can see your little person right here. So at night, it's dark. This happens to us as we go to sleep. These are waves that go through our aura in this case, it was fuchsia colored, and I was watching my children fall asleep. And this wasn't one instant of watching them fall asleep. This is multiple days of watching this happen, and then feeling it happen in my own aura is these waves that wash over us. And so that's feeling it on the outer aura. This is feeling it on the inside, the inner eye. I love this drawing. I have two more of it. If I can get myself to sit still long enough and finish them would be great. So we've got this expansion from the inside to the outside. All these beautiful fluorescent colors and shapes, little shapes, right? So falling through into this tunnel, through the mind, you know, through the crown. This is me, my spirit, going through my crown chakra into the tunnel, into the dream state and astral traveling world. Going through this enters into astral traveling with intention, meetings, going to classes, learning things, going into the earth, like just astral travel, go into the earth, like let her hold you, feel like you're in the womb of the mother, unfold like a seed. This is your spirit. Okay, so, all right, I'm like, oh, I don't want to show that one right now. Okay, so this is Green Tara. So I had studied Tibetan Buddhism quite a lot. She's one of the deities. I believe she was Padmasambhava's consort and then became the Green Tara. I'm not 100% with my history, but anyhow, I had been really depressed before and feeling really shitty about myself, and I didn't want to be here, and I wasn't in a place where I was able to express who I was, and oh, it was so hard. She came to me, and this was at night, I could see her above me, I could see her face and feel her compassion for me. She really came here like a savior and gave me that energy that I needed to get through it. And I was so thankful. And, you know, there were more than just her that came to visit me in those deepest, darkest times of my life in the energy field. So thank you for her. Oh, okay. So dreams, fun dreams. Okay. This was a dream that I had. I was in a house, you know, it had all these antiques like furniture and cool chairs. And I was showing my art was hanging on the wall in these beautiful elaborate frames. So I was showing my art to a friend, and then when I woke up, I still had, since I was looking at the art so good, showing it to him, I was saying, look, nobody does this. Look at how the aura goes from the bottom all the way to the top. And then that stuck with me. So the next day, it just kept coming back throughout the day, like this image, like, oh, I gotta paint that. And I had help. When I made this, I felt my spirit guides with me. I had a certain color on my palette, with the paint, I mixed the colors with primary colors, and I had a certain color. And then when I put it on the canvas, it was a different color. And I was like, whoa. And I put the brush over there, you know, it's the same. And then I put it on here and it's a different color. It was weird. So I had to help mixing this. And also I went into that intuition, you know, that place where it's not like you know what to do or you don't know what to do. You're just neutral. And then I had the guidance, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this right at that moment. Here's another dream. This was like falling asleep, or I saw this. So I had some really highly spiritual intuitive friends. They're like, oh, it's a torus, it's the toroidal field, you know, the donut shape, but it's turned on the side or something. They're like, this is what it looks like from the side, and it's chaos. So inside this image, if you can see it, there's a double spiral in the middle. Well, let me get my finger right. All right, so it's a double spiral in the middle, and it's white. Ugh. All right, well, on my screen, I can't see it very good. I hope you can. And then, gosh, this was a long time ago I did this one. This is a big canvas. So this is called Ether. It is like a lake. It was from a dream. And I was standing next to this big, huge tree that didn't fit in the picture with all this moss at the bottom. And I remember the moss so clearly. But we have this salmon and a salmon shark swimming on above the water, like swimming in circles up here. And then right before I woke up, the shark caught the salmon, and then I woke up. So I don't even understand this one. It's almost like so out there. I don't get it at all. Okay, so here is another one. I had my art on. Well, actually, it wasn't my art. It was like a spirit teacher in the dream state. Her name's Claudia, and it was her art, and she was showing it to me. And this is called Waterfall, and it's 2 sheets of paper that I had to tape together because I didn't have enough I didn't have a big enough page at the time. So these rocks are holding the water within them. And this is another one where I saw it in the dream, and I was like, I have to paint that. I have to paint that all throughout the day until I actually made it. And then I believe this is an accurate representation. So we've got this spirit face in the rock, like this sleeping in here spirit. So I really like that one. So also in this, I will share, I had on the wall in my dream were little 8x8 framed canvases of more rocks. And there's just so many aspirations and dreams that I want to do that I have to do one thing at a time. Okay, so here's another dream. In this dream, I was with my son, and we're in this big open grassy field, and I was just zoning out, watching the energy of the above the mountain, which I do all the time. So isn't that great with this thing? Yeah, it does look like that. So above the mountain, and I was like, oh, I wonder if there's animals in the energy fields that we can't see as physical, but maybe I can see them if I look. So I looked up in my dream, and I saw these huge birds. Are these like the thunderbirds? Or, I mean, they're bigger than eagles, bigger than vultures, and they're orangish red, right? The phoenix, right? Maybe. And so I made this one. This is another acrylic. I use a lot of acrylic because it doesn't stink. Well, I'm out of the pictures that I picked out to show you guys. Oh, no, I have one more. I just did this one. It's huge. I'm sure you saw it on my page. Love this one. Ta-da! Yes, this one's from another dream. Leave it on my backpack here. This is from a dream I had about 4 days ago. 4 days ago, so my shaman teacher went on a vacation, was by the ocean. I talked to him on the phone, and then that night I had a dream that I painted this wave, this big wave with blue and a blue ocean in the background. And I was telling him in the dream that it's awful because I need to put more white on the top. If I were to fix this, I would put more white on the top. And I still think that when I look at it. It does have white in it, but I look at it and I'm like, And so almost when I was painting this, white was like the bad color. Like, don't use white. I didn't use white until the very end. And it was all just the different shades of blues, a little bit of purple. And I used a white that did have, I mean, I did use a blue that had white in it already. Anyways, thank you for joining. Oh man, I want to talk about one last thing, and that is about how each of us have an incredible amount of potential within us. We all have this seated imprint of what we can become if we were to be extraordinary. And stepping into that potential requires going into that space where you don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm here and I'm listening. Listen to your inner guidance. Let it lead you, and you will go to that extraordinary place. And I want to say one last thing, that together we can create a world where everyone is wealthy. That is where I want to go, because true wealth comes from within. It comes from stepping into that extraordinary place and seeing what we can serve. What more can we serve for others? How can we become the most extraordinary person that we can be together with other people working together? Love you all. Please reach out and say hi every once in a while. I really appreciate it. Blessings.